Doing here. Like many of you, I mountain bike, and I run, and I kayak, and I've done some rock climbing and mountaineering and snowshoeing and snowboarding. But when you live here, how can you not participate in this amazing community? If I lived in Reno, maybe I'd be unique and different. I do have a few modest accomplishments. I'm proud of the adventure race that me and my friend Dean started, Suburban RUSH. And thank you. I entered into the very first 24 hours of adrenaline at Hemlock Mountain in 1998, and we were an all-girls team, and we won. And yes, we were the only all-girls team. But we beat everyone on the couch, and I don't think we celebrate that enough. Which brings me to my very first race experience, which initially I thought was a disaster. It was 1997, and I'd met this I was new to mountain biking, and I'd met this very enthusiastic girl, Rochelle. I don't know where she is, but she is the one who roped me in. She said, I've heard about this testamental event, and I thought it'd be fun, and it was only 8 weeks away, and do you want to do it? Do you want to train? Do you want to sign up? I didn't know that people trained for mountain biking. And I also thought that 8 weeks seemed like a reasonable amount of time to train for such event. And I also had no idea that 65 kilometers was a hell of a lot further than I thought. But there we were, ready for noon start in the sweltering hot heat. There was all these riders, and they had big, important bikes, and they were wearing Lycra and uniforms. Oh, I went right to the back. The gun went off at noon, and 800 of us were pedaling off out there. And if you know Squamish at all, you know they are an amazingly supportive community. They were out in force cheering us along, spraying us with water as we entered the trail system. And there was this young guy cheering for me, way to go, Slowpoke, way to go. I just started. The race had a 2.5-hour cutoff point, and I was so focused on making it. If you don't make it, you get pulled from the course. I got there. I passed my support person, and he gave me a fresh water bottle and then proceeded to yell at me, "Start drinking!" I guess I was so focused that I hadn't drunk any water at all. And I proceeded to dry heave up the grueling and torturous 9-mile hill, also appropriately known as Bonk Hill. Shortly after reaching the top, a medic came up behind me and asked me questions that I had no idea could even be a part of a race, like, when's the last time you peed? Somehow, I convinced him that I was capable of continuing, and I headed into the infamous technical powerhouse plunge. That is way beyond my skill level at the time. I was tired, I was exhausted, and I fell. And I thought that me and my bike were having this private crying moment when, kind of out of the corner of my eye, I see a marshal. I basically, embarrassed, picked up my bike and continued on my way. I hit the last section called Crumpet Woods, and I'd been given the news that there were going to be no marshals on the course. And I'm thinking, okay, my God, I guess at some point they have to let the volunteers go home. As I came out of the trails into the residential neighborhood, I was sort of momentarily lost. I wasn't sure where I was going. So there was this lady playing street hockey with her children, and I pedaled up to her and I said, "Is this the way to the testamental finish line?" And she just looked down at my race bib and, "Oh dear, Sure is. Several minutes later, I crossed the finish line. There was no fanfare, and the timing company was just about ready to pack up. I was exhausted and happy to be finished. It wasn't until sometime later that I realized I did it. I wasn't last. 82 people didn't finish for a variety of reasons, and I beat a whole lot of people still sitting on the couch. And I think I had an impact on that race in other ways as well. I am almost certain they've changed the start time to 11 a.m. now because of me. Most importantly, I have a friendship with Rochelle, who shared many more mountain biking experiences with me. I'm an auntie to her 2 lovely kids, and so my race, though not my strongest, I think was actually a huge success. So if you flash forward to 2005, my friend Dean approached me about starting an adventure race, and my first response to him was, no way, that is way too much freaking work. I'm not doing it. But it was with the memory of completing Testamental, which made me say yes. I want to do this. I want to do this for other people. I was reminded of this recently when a friend that had signed up for Suburban RUSH without her knowing my connection to it subsequently shared her story with me. And it made me smile and it made me laugh. And it was hard for her, and it was memorable for her, but it made a great story. I wish there'd been a Suburban RUSH around when I first started adventure racing. It's challenging, but it's still doable. We've had 1,500 people cross the finish line. 40% of them are women, over 40% of the women, so yay women. I think that it's the smiles and the struggles, the challenge and the joy of finishing a race. We are not all hardcore, and we don't have a long, long list of accomplishments, perhaps. But we are beating everyone on the couch every time we're out there.